it's plenty of it's just a class 3, which.
Yep, thank you. Welcome everybody and Happy New Year to this January 22nd, 2026 regular planning board meeting. If you're able to, can you join me and rise for the pledge?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Secretary, can you please read the Open Public Meeting Act and call roll?
The notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied with respect to this meeting of the Township of Verona's Planning Board, which is being held in the ballroom of the Verona Community Center located at 880 Bloomfield Avenue, Verona. Specifically, the time and date were included in the public meeting notice. This information, along with the meeting agenda, was posted in the municipal building and sent to the official newspapers of the Township, the Verona Cedar Grove Times and the Star Ledger, at least 48 hours preceding the start time of this meeting. The agenda and public handouts for this meeting can be viewed online at www.veronanj.org/planningboard. All meetings are recorded. Instructions on how to comment will be provided at the appropriate time. Those wishing to speak during any public comment period should only provide their name and municipality. Street addresses are not required. Please be advised that should a member of the public choose to state their street address, it will not be redacted from this recording. Mr. Day?
Here.
Mr. McEnroe?
Perfect. Here.
Mrs. Parker? Here. Mr. Lilly?
Here.
Mr. Heinman?
Here.
Mr. Kamudi?
Here.
Councilman McAvoy?
Present.
Township Manager O'Sullivan? Mayor Tamburo?
Here.
Vice Chair Freshy? Chair Pearson?
Here.
Mr. Macera?
Here.
Ms. Mish?
Here.
Yeah.
Okay. Just as just checking off things on the agenda, the oaths of office were administered by Mr. Macera before we began the meeting. So that is also done. Item F, reorganization of the planning board elections. Nomination and election of the chairperson. Can I get a nomination for chairperson?
I nominate Ms. Pearson.
We have a nomination for me. Are there any further nominations? Okay.
You need a second on that.
Oh, yeah.
I second.
Okay. Mr. Lilly seconds. Mr. Kamudi nominates. Are there any other nominations? Thank you. Okay, can we get a roll call vote then? We close the nomination process and now roll call vote.
Mr. Day?
Yes.
Mr. Magarel?
Yes.
Mrs. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Lilly?
Yes.
Mr. Heinman?
Yes.
Mr. Kamudi?
Yes.
Councilman McAvoy?
Abstain.
Mr. Mayor Tamburo?
Yes.
And Chair Pearson?
Yes. Okay, chairperson, Pearson was elected chairperson, yeah. It's a little awkward. Thank you, I appreciate it. I want to just point out one thing before we move forward. If you leave your talkie on, only 5 people can have this turned on at once. It's one of those things, and you will get, it may turn off on you mid-sentence. So I'm just saying, try to be aware to turn your mic off if there's a bunch of other people about to talk.
We are
in the process of installing a new system, which will be very exciting.
I've heard that.
And it might work. It'll be a big day.
It might even work.
Rich Malley's gonna be the happiest guy alive when that happens.
Okay, moving on to the nomination and the election of vice chairperson. I would like to make a nomination of Jason Hindman to be vice chairperson. Can I get a second?
Second.
Mayor Tamburo seconds. Are there any further nominations for vice chair? Hearing none, the process is closed, and we need a roll call vote for Mr. Hindman.
Mr. Day?
Yes.
Mr. Magaro?
Yes.
Mrs. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Lilly?
Yes.
Mr. Hindman?
Yes.
Mr. Kamudi?
Yes.
Councilman McAvoy?
Yes.
Mayor Tamburo?
Yes.
Chair Pearson?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Hindman, vice chair.
Thank you, everyone, very much appreciated, and I look forward to continue working hard for this board.
You gotta move over 2 seats.
Yeah, I did.
It's the hop. At this moment in time, we need to go into a very brief executive session. So the room, we're going to ask for the room to be cleared for a brief executive session.
The purpose of the
Oh,
executive session.
thank you.
Purpose of the executive session is to discuss a potential contract and the awarding of a contract for the planner for this board.
I have to ask him to turn the tape off for a moment. Just ask. Never asked.
Is the executive session not videotaped?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes, just close the door.
Separate. A second.
Rich is not, I don't know what they can edit it out. Well, we want, yeah.
Should we see if we're starting mics right now?
No, it won't, it's going to take that. I am so. The camera to turn on. I don't know where Rich went.
Hi, we're going into executive session. We need the camera turned on. Okay, thank you. Just trying to see if we can get the Wi-Fi working. Be right back.
His wife's in
Did you open the door for the new planner? No, this is me, I'm awful, they had no idea.
Okay.
Oh my God. You love me, but you're mean to me.
I'm sorry. I'll make it up to you, I
I'm
promise.
so happy Jason's the vice chair and his
Oh,
first order of business was get rid
Rich, are
of.
we on?
Yeah.
Rich?
How would we even know?
We gotta get a red light put in.
I know.
On air, be on air.
Yeah.
Right outside the door.
When it's blinking around.
Just came.
I'm pretty sure if you turn it on before you left my.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Issues with the Microsoft.
He went down right as we were talking on the phone.
It's
Like-
messed up.
He's like, I'm not getting your email. I sent it. I sent it. Are we on?
Yeah.
Ah. This is gonna be a sloppy.
Motion.
I make a motion to reopen open session.
Second.
Second committee,
All in favor?
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I'm sorry?
Motion for the,
No, I'm gonna start here. We are now going to make our annual appointments. The first appointment is the appointment of Greg Massara as the planning board attorney, reflected in resolution 2026-01. Is that correct? Okay. Oh yeah, right back here. Would anybody like to make a motion?
I would like to make that motion to reappoint Mr. Massara as the planning board attorney.
I'd like to second that motion for Mr.
Mr.
Massara.
Day
to be the-
seconds. Can we get a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Day?
A happy yes.
Mr. Magarill?
Yes.
Mrs. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Lilly?
Yes.
Mr. Heinman?
Yes.
Mr. Kamudi?
Yes.
Councilman McAvoy?
Yes.
Mayor Tamburo?
Yes.
And Chair Pearson? Yes. Motion passes.
Thank you all. It really is a pleasure and an honor to work for this board. Challenging at times, but always in a good way. So appreciate it.
We appreciate
That'd be
you.
great.
Resolution 2026-02, the appointment of Boswell as the planning board engineer. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Who said that? You?
Aye.
Okay.
Second. Second.
Mr. Day seconds. Vice Chair Hyman made the motion. Can we get a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Magarill?
Yes.
Mr. Day?
Yes.
Mrs. Parker? Yes. Mr. Lilly?
Yes.
Mr. Heinman?
Yes.
Mr. Kamudi?
Yes.
Councilman McAvoy?
Yes.
Mayor Tamburo?
Yes.
And Chair Pearson?
Yes. Motion passes. Boswell will be the planning board engineers. Resolution 2026-03, the appointment of the planning board planner. How do I approach this?
I'll make a motion to appoint H2M
I second that.
and amending the draft resolution to incorporate same.
Vice Chair Hyman makes the motion. I make the second. Can we get a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Magarill?
Yes.
Mr. Day?
Yes.
Mrs. Parker? Yes. Mr. Lilly?
Yes.
Mr. Heinman?
Yes.
Mr. Kamudi?
Happy yes.
Councilman McAvoy?
Yes.
Mayor Tamburo?
Yes.
Chair Pearson. Yes. We have resolution, the motion passes. I'm sorry.
Let me just
H2M.
thank everyone, please. Thank you, everybody. I love working for this board, and I hope to continue. Thanks. Sorry, Tim.
Sorry. And resolution 2026-04, the appointment of Dolores Stidi Carpinelli as the planning board secretary. I'll make that motion. Can I get a second? Second by the mayor? Can we get a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Magarill?
Yes.
Mr. Day? Mrs. Parker? Yes. Mr. Lilly?
Yes.
Mr. Heinman?
Yes.
Mr. Kamudi?
Yes.
Councilman McAvoy?
Yes.
Mayor Tamburo?
Yes.
Chair Pearson?
Yes. The motion passes. Welcome, Dee Dee, again. Buckle up. And Resolution 2026-05 will be on our next agenda. Due to some, I guess, outages today, the completion of that and transmission just was halted. Subcommittee updates. Briefly, Vice Chair Hyman, do you want to update on where the master plan subcommittee is, or do I want Jamie to do the update, since Jamie's here?
Jamie's here. I mean, I think, let's get an update on where
Yeah.
we stand, and then anything that you need to fill in, I can.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Vice Chair, members of the board. Jamie Plachek, Affordable Housing Council for the Township of Verona. And we work closely, not only with the governing body, but with the subcommittee of this board, which played a large role in how we move forward in resolving the challenges to the declaratory judgment action that was filed to obtain certification for the township for the fourth round of affordable housing. We've now fully resolved all challenges that were filed. One was GHM2. That was resolved pretty much before, but that just was a hangover, so we didn't have a lot to do with that. That was resolved mostly on its own through separate litigation that had gone forward as well. Now, that left us with 885 Bluefield Avenue, which is a property we all know, 251 and a half Grove, which is another property we all know, and Fair Share Housing Center. And there were other properties at play, but those were the only ones that had filed challenges that remained that we had to address and deal with. And the 885 has now been resolved with the settlement, and it'll be back before this board by way of redevelopment with its 28 units total. And of those 28, there are 4 set aside, 3 are affordable housing units, and 1 is a 3-bedroom, which will function as a group home, a special needs residence with 3 separate bedrooms.
And just, those units are all going to be for sale? They're not rentals?
Okay. They're all for sale units, so they'll all be owned. And then the 251 and a half Grove, much like the 885, is also townhomes and also for sale units. And it started out that they were up at 140 units. It dropped, or 180 units. That dropped down to 140. That dropped down to 125, and ultimately we ended up with 84 units. So we're at 84 units on that site with a 20% set aside, which is 17 units. And there's still some matters that are being tweaked out by way of garages and things like that. Some of the things that Fair Share had some say on that we weren't necessarily concerned about by way of distribution of garages. But they're working on that. And then that project, much like 885, will also be back before this board at some point, whether it be through the redevelopment or it may simply be, depending on how it goes forward, it may come forward as a site plan application, depending on what happens by the court's advisement on the declaratory judgment action. Because there's a March 15 deadline, and while we're working forward on the redevelopment side of things, we obviously don't want to blow a deadline. So, the court's imposed. So that's, we'll deal with that if it comes, but one way or another, that project will be back before you as a board, before the approvals they need to build it. And the zoning ordinance also would come back, because there would be, even if it's not under redevelopment law, there would have to be a zoning change that would come from the governing body that would be obviously reviewed.
Everybody in your packet and through email, you've been sent a number of, like, one after another, a couple of changed schedules. So you see we were supposed to get to tonight, and because Greg couldn't send it out.
It's all Greg's fault.
It's all Greg's fault.
Nothing to do with the multi-billion-dollar corporation.
Right. So the town center zone which none of us have had an opportunity to review. I'm making I think that we need to discuss having an open session, and I suggested we do, a full board meeting, but obviously only focused on the town center zone on Zoom. I'm making that recommendation to do just basically a work meeting where Greg and San and our zoning code official can parse through, maybe even before that session, to tweak this to get it as I guess, perfect as it should be. I'm suggesting a Zoom meeting. We've done them before for work meetings, even though it's a whole open session meeting.
Mayor, Madam Chair, can I suggest,
Sure.
it's obviously the chair's pleasure, that perhaps it be a subcommittee without a quorum, since there will be San, I will be present, Kathleen will be present. And then if you have a subcommittee without a quorum, it gives us more flexibility as to when we can meet. There'll be no notice requirements.
Okay.
And then the subcommittee can then report back to the board
Well,
with,
with the finished product.
with the finished product prior to the next open meeting.
That would be fine. What subcommittee would that?
Or you could appoint the ad hoc subcommittee right now, right?
Okay, I'm going to do that, but we're going to do the subcommittees that I forgot to do.
Okay, all right.
So we don't have the town center zone fully tweaked, but that's part of this plan. And a necessary part of the plan for completion.
Yeah, because what that does is it helps make up for units that, while we're able to cover the RDP number, it'll help, according to fair share, give greater opportunity to potentially bring development to that area to help finish, towards the LMD. But, not significant changes, but as your chair said, it's important to be done at that time.
Yeah.
And this was something that has been contemplated in the master plan
Yeah.
for some time,
Absolutely.
doing a rezoning of the town center. So,
It was in the master plan, and we were very close to discussion before the third round affordable housing regulations came about. So, Mayor and Deputy Mayor I'd done a presentation to them, and then we waited, and then the tweaks we made were based upon the special adjudicator and her comments.
So does anybody have you see the schedule that we're working with and all of the things that we're supposed to get on the schedule. Sam, do you think that we will have, this is interesting. So it looks like on the February 26th meeting, we have an area in need of redevelopment investigation
For
for 250.
251 and a half.
So you're not going to have a zone drafted before
No.
the 15th of March?
No, that's correct.
So are you going to ask for an extension for that one property?
Not as of now, because I'm going through the court to obtain an extension. Going through the court to obtain an extension from the court of that March 15 date, because we already have special meetings and we have everything lined up. So we're not trying to get, I don't want to make it too hectic for not only this board and the governing body, but all the professionals involved. So I've already spoken with the law clerk, to a Superior Court judge, or affordable housing judge, I know it's confusing, but there's a program judge, then there's a Superior Court judge. And ultimately, that's the judge that decides our case. I've spoken with the law clerk from that judge, and we're working, and I've heard there's discussion of doing a global extension for everyone that's involved in the program, all municipalities, to extend that March 15 date by court order to April. So once they get back to me as to where they think it's going, then they'll tell me if we need to make our own individual application in advance, or if there's going to be a global order that comes out. So one way or the other, it will be extended through the declaratory judgment action to avoid another special meeting, because otherwise we're not leaving great distance of time in between meetings, which is something I know not only boards like, but the public likes, because depending on what happens at the first meeting, if they need time to adjust or consider or review anything, rather than turn around, days later with a special meeting.
So the question is, right now on the schedule, we are supposed to meet on March 3rd, a special meeting.
As of today, yes.
Okay,
My hope is to take that off the plate.
your hope is,
To take that off the plate, so the March 3rd would clear up. And then
be able to do it sometime in April?
you have another meeting.
We do, but we're already, I understand that, but we are already in discussion to have a site plan on schedule for the March 26th meeting, a strong likelihood of that. So regardless of whether we're able to play it out till March 26th, we still may require a special hearing for the master plan, the housing and fair share plan.
We made that, but as of now, it's too early to really tell with certainty.
When do you think you're going to hear from the state?
I would, if I had to venture an educated guess, it would be by the end of the first week of the next month, following month of February.
First week of February, you
Yes,
think?
because
Okay.
That's when I would
That's
make my
fine.
application, and that's what I expect to hear.
What we could do with Hillcrest is have them notice for the 3rd, and then if we don't get the extension, we could do the housing element on the 3rd, bump them to the 26th.
They are already on the 26th. We told
Have they,
them.
but have they noticed yet? Because if
They
they haven't
haven't.
noticed,
No, they're not even,
yeah,
the
then we
guy
can,
didn't even do the plans over yet.
then let's tell them in a couple of weeks, maybe we can shoot for the 3rd.
For March 3rd?
Yeah.
No way.
You don't think they'll have it?
No.
Okay.
And because it has to go to all the review committees too. It has to go through a process, back office process before,
Well, as my process moves forward, I'll keep your council apprised and updated.
their council, our board.
Your board council.
Yeah.
Yeah, your council.
Yeah, and the
So-
master plan
So he
subcommittee.
can, discuss with you, Madam Chair, and anyone else he needs to, keep you up to date as well as to what's going on that scheduling. Because if I find out obviously earlier, then you will know earlier as well.
Yeah, I mean, all right. I mean, we have another master plan subcommittee meeting.
The 6th is our,
When? February 6th? So by then, hopefully we'll have an idea of whether we can shift the schedule to give us a little more breathing room.
yes.
But for right now, on the 19th, we're having a public hearing on that plan, along with 5 other things.
And that's the point, is to give, because that's, I spoke with the planner earlier, there's so many moving parts and so many plans and so many moving parts that are on the same track, different tracks, but same pathway, for the end result, that we want to make sure that nothing gets overlooked, nothing gets from one to another, because we all know how it gets at the end, when you start to scramble, if that's where you're at. So we're trying to make sure that we have more than sufficient time to allow all our elected officials and our volunteer appointed officials to have the time they need to make sure they are able to digest what we do. Because don't forget, we also have this amended housing element plan that's going to have to be, reviewed, and digested, and, in its entirety as well, again, when it comes back, for this board. So, it's a lot, and we acknowledge that, we're throwing a lot on this board. And it's not, normal course, not that you don't always have a lot to do, but it's something that's not normal in the normal course. It's not applications, it's not, members of the public coming to you.
Well,
So we understand that there's
Yeah.
a lot of work, and we want to make sure that we give you the time you need to do it.
on a realistic level, the state set all the sewing up of all the loose ends for December and then tell people you have 3 months to figure it out. And it's just ridiculous. It's horrific.
I can't tell you who came up with this schedule originally.
It's terrible.
I have to hope it was the first iteration and they just didn't care, rather than this is somehow better than what was first contemplated. It's a very tight schedule. It's a very difficult schedule when, especially when you have elected officials who are also professionals, you have board members who are also professionals that work in the field, and they're working for towns, other towns.
Yep.
It's a lot of people, and, but it's where we're at now for the fourth round. Sue will be out of it, and then we can all cross our fingers and wait for
Yep.
fifth round to get us.
Does anybody have any questions for Jamie regarding this? All right, thank you so much, Jamie. Appreciate you. And then briefly, we had a site plan subcommittee meeting yesterday?
Tuesday. Oh,
Yes,
wait, no, Wednesday.
It was yesterday, for Hillcrest, and it was just basically, really, it was mostly our engineers doing a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of, pointing out certain aspects of the plan that were lacking, whether it was, something lacking as a mark on the plan, and that, or details of certain dimensions or depths for their stormwater management system.
Inconsistencies, missing calculations. So it was a first pass without it having to come to the full board and then working it out in the hearing. And so I think it saved us a lot of time in the end. And
Yeah.
hopefully,
So
when they do come before us, it should be a very smooth application. It won't be a Spectrum 360 where we're going back and forth for a year and they're revising things. So our hope is that we get everything cleaned up and resubmitted so that when they come before this board, it's just a very quick presentation. The professionals are satisfied that the things that they say are going to work will work as designed, and it's really just the board being able to provide feedback and scrutinize, more the less technical details that can potentially bog an application down. So I thought it was very helpful.
I definitely agree. So that went smoothly. Moving along, we have subcommittees that were established last year, and I just want to go through briefly. Right now, the Architectural Review Board subcommittee is comprised, and by the way, in all of my time serving, that site plan review committee meeting was the very first one that had happened since I was on. Do you ever remember one before that?
I do not.
Okay, so I could probably guarantee that unless there's some kind of facet moving forward of historic districts that are going to be set up, and there's some architectural details that they want to discuss with our planner, because they talked about this in the master plan, and it's something on the horizon, hopefully. You probably won't be meeting for a particular building, but more a plan in zoning. So right now, myself and Tim are on there. We have at least 2 openings, because I could definitely take a step back from that one. I don't mind doing that. So does anybody have interest in the Architectural Review Board? Really?
Yeah, I have interest.
All right, Dylan? Anyone else? Have a flair for design, maybe, or? No?
Stay on.
Okay, well, 3
Tim will
people.
stay on.
I'm staying on. Okay, so right now we still have an opening, but it's just the 3 of us now. Do you want to be on it?
If you don't, to take a burden off you, since you're on all 4, I'm going to step in.
All right, I'm putting Jack on. And so take me off, put Jack on. So it's Tim, Dylan, Jack. Okay? Thank you. The Site Plan and Subdivision Committee right now is comprised of myself, Jesse Lilly, Jason, and there is an opening. These might become useful during this very rush process.
I can see us meeting at least 4 more times in the next year, year and a half.
Yeah, just to work the kinks out. I mean, I don't really see a problem with it.
Just suggest, good, thank you. I was going to suggest anyone new on the board or the alternates, it takes practice looking at site plans, and if you're not familiar with it, so.
That's I mean, it's a fair point. I think Mr. Day is well practiced at that.
Oh, okay, yeah, I don't know your background.
He was on the Board of Ed, and he served on subcommittees on the Board of Ed that probably buried him in site plans.
Yeah.
So are you interested?
Yes.
Thank you. So Mr. Day, and you want to stay, right?
Yeah, I'll stay.
Jesse, you want to stay?
Yes.
Okay. What were you going to say?
If anybody would want to step down, I would be willing to stay on site plan because I have a background in site plan.
You do.
Is that a question?
Is that news to you, Jess?
I mean, you do. In the affirmative.
The second round, I'll step down and check.
What do you prefer?
He's very qualified.
It's helpful to have a second.
Jack does see things that, he sees
Yeah, I
things.
know.
He sees people. I'm going to leave that up to you. We could decide towards the end of the meeting if you want, all right? Landscape, right now, it's myself, Dave Fresky, Tim Camuti, and Julie. Does everybody want to stay?
I'll step back because you guys have it really well covered.
Okay, Tim is going to back out of landscape and environmental. Does anybody want to step up for that? There's an opening.
But I'll volunteer for that, and then Mr. McAvoy can slide to.
Okay. You got that? And finally, the master plan implementation. Once this is done, we will be working on stormwater portion of the master plan, municipal stormwater plan. We're waiting for the state to come out with a new template because the template that they offer now is from 2006. And it's just a little old. We've been through 2 new stormwater management rules, and a 3rd one is on the horizon with the new real PAC back. So we're waiting for them. Right now, it's myself, Vice Chair Heineman, Kevin O'Sullivan, and Mayor. Everybody's sitting pat? Okay.
That's fine with me.
Committees are set for now.
And then the ad hoc committee for
Oh,
town center.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
The creation of an ad hoc town center zone committee or zone review committee for this particular project. I would definitely like to be on that. I kind of already nosed into it a couple of times, so are you?
I don't need to be on it.
You don't
I can
want it?
send my comments to you.
Okay.
And we've discussed it
We got
quite a
it.
bit already.
We got it. Okay. It could be up to 4 members.
I can serve on it as, it's just depending on the time. So if it's going to be another, like during the workday item, I would step back. But if we're going to be meeting in the afternoon
I
or
think it's
evening-
only going to be a one-time meeting. It's going to be, what? No?
I
Could be twice.
foresee an initial meeting, then time for people to digest, and then a more substantive meeting, before we come back to the board with what we hope is a final recommendation, final draft. So I think it would probably be 2 meetings.
But they're going to be not widely spaced because we don't have
No,
time
that's
to
fine.
play around.
Right. I think the first meeting, some brief discussion about what we're looking for, what we need to do. And then the second meeting would be the collaboration.
Well, I would say the first meeting should be like kind of an overview and
That's-
give you your marching orders to work with these two.
That's
And,
what,
and then bring us back anything that needs to be tweaked, which hopefully it won't. So,
May I
Mayor?
interject for a second? So that means I'll have to change my schedule to not have the introduction at the February 9th, right? We're talking about the TC.
If we
Yeah,
can get it
TC.
done, if we can meet Monday or,
Okay,
I don't know.
But yeah, I think the plan is to stay on track for the 19th.
okay. I had it February 9th for
To
introduction.
consistency.
Oh, for the council, right? Yeah.
Because that's important.
Yes.
I mean, I just will have to change the schedule and send it back.
Okay, well, first of all, I'm looking for members besides myself and the mayor who want to engage. This is zoning. It's like looking at our zoning code and kind of tweaking it and drafting it slightly differently to allow for basically mixed-use development without so many restrictions as exist in other sections of town. You want to be?
Yes.
Julie? And there is one more slot if anybody wants.
Future of downtown Verona, folks. That's-
I could volunteer.
Jim, can you meet during the day? Via Zoom?
Most days, I'm fairly flexible, but, I'm locked into something. Yeah.
We meet through Zoom, so,
Yeah.
all right. Thanks, Jim. Okay. So the ad hoc committee is myself, the mayor, Julie, and Jim, and might as well do it. Oh, and turn my phone off because I was getting text messages and they're going directly into my ear.
I'd be willing to switch with Mr. Day, because he has experience with site plans for the committee that he just volunteered for, if that works better.
You're loading up, aren't you?
Well, I could take the one that you just volunteered, and you could take the site plan.
You're welcome to my spot on the
Oh my
downtown
God,
if you
you
want.
guys are getting ridiculously you
Give
first.
Jesse my spot on the downtown,
On the what?
on the town center.
All right. Mayor's off, Jesse's on, and
Town center.
Jesse, are you stepping off of plan review, site plan review, and you want Jim to take that?
If he's willing to take it, I think that would be
We
good.
have Mr. Freshman who wants to join every committee too.
Yeah.
He's on the landscape and architect committee. So, I'm sorry.
Madam Chair, I'm just looking at the timeline, and I don't think I'm going to have a lot of availability, honestly, between now and the timeline, so I'm actually going to step back. So you both can be on it. I'm just looking at my calendar, and it's not going to work.
What are you talking about?
What's that?
The master plan?
No, the ad hoc, the town center. I'm going to pull back from that, just looking at my schedule and the
Okay, can I just
timeline.
ask you something?
I don't want to load Mr. Day up, but if he's, sounded like he had an interest in some
Okay,
experience.
right now, on the on the architectural, it's
Jack Dillon,
Tim, Dylan, Jack, right?
Yes.
Okay, on the site plan, it's myself, it's Jim, it's Jack, it's Jason. Is that correct? On landscape, Tim stepped off, Jim Day stepped up. And on master plan, that didn't change at all. On the ad hoc, it's me, Jim,
No, Lily.
me, Jesse, Jim, and Julie?
Yes.
Are you on the town center?
I volunteered for the town center, but I was not going to be in the site plan.
But then,
Jesse just gave you his site plan,
yeah.
So we're looking at the site plan and then.
And he takes the
town
ad
center.
but I already put him on the ad hoc.
That's good. Jim, you can have my spot on the town center.
I'm on every committee.
Yes. So,
Jim, you are.
Right, Jim's on and the mayor's off.
yeah, I'm off, Jim's
Do you
on.
have this straight?
I
think so.
Yes.
Because I'm,
All good.
all right,
Just trying to figure out how to make a motion to remove her, so.
all right, someone's gotta turn your mic off. Someone turn your mic off. It's not working anymore. I have your mic. Who's next? All right. At this time, I am going to open public participation. If anybody from the public has any questions or comments that they'd like to make for anything not on this agenda, please come to the mic, state your name and just your town or municipality. Okay, seeing none, I am going to close public participation. And right now, we're moving on to I, approval of meeting minutes. Everybody received a copy of the meeting minutes from December 4th, 2025. Does anybody have any questions or comments on those? Any corrections that you might have? If not, I will entertain a motion to approve the meeting minutes for any member that was here at that meeting.
I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion.
I'll second that.
Okay? And any members that have to abstain, please put your hand up. Okay? Those three have to abstain. The rest of the members that were here and present for the 4th, just show of hands. Okay. Everybody else votes aye. I think. Okay. Okay, at this time now, we are going to move into a consistency determination for amendments to ordinances. First, 150-7.13A, mechanical equipment. Everybody has received a copy of the changes that Mr. Massara added. I have to open this. One second. Oh, thank you. You have it?
I move that
Well, let me just ask if there's any questions on it or any concerns, because I think Greg did a really good job at making very clear a difference between swimming pool equipment and mechanical equipment and the placement of each on residential properties. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
I just had a question about this. No generator should be permitted within a side yard. So how do you define a side yard?
The setback.
A side yard setback. The setback of a side yard. It should say side yard setback.
Doesn't say setback.
Can you cite that? Where is it?
It's item 157.13, item B.
It should say setback.
Within a side yard setback.
Okay.
Isn't it actually just side yard?
correct, it is side.
Oh, no.
Why?
It is side
Oh,
yard.
That's right. It is a side yard.
wait,
That,
it's
that was
mechanical
what I was
equipment.
asking.
No generator.
Oh, no, you can't put a generator
It's a
side
side
yard.
yard. Have to be the rear yard.
Too loud
Okay.
for the neighbors,
Gotcha.
or the front yard.
Should we change that?
Do you want to add that?
That's the current
This
ordinance.
is the current ordinance.
That's the current ordinance.
Only says side yard, so it doesn't say, so you can put mechanical equipment, you can put generator in the front yard, as long as it meets the setback of the front yard.
Yeah, let's not. Let's add that in.
Well, we can't. This was already passed by the governing body. This is a consistency determination. no?
No, I don't think the governing body saw this. Yeah.
This
No,
is-
we did.
Oh, you did. Oh, right, you did.
We did, we're sending consistency.
I'm wondering if you should add.
So it's,
So we could send back recommendations.
yeah,
to the
let's
council.
recommend
Correct,
it.
right.
So
Also-
adding,
Also restricted in front yard.
right.
So we're restricting mechanical equipment from the front
So it
yard
says
and,
Generators shall only be permitted in the rear yard.
but we're okay with mechanical equipment, meaning air conditioning units, those in the front yard. Because we don't say they can't be in the front yard.
This is when you have a corner lot, you have
Right.
two front yards and it's
Correct.
kind of.
But to put but when you have, when it's a corner lot and they're going to put a unit in the front yard, then there's a different setback, usually. They usually can't meet it. Usually they have to come in for a variance for it.
What do you think about that?
What's the preference?
I mean, I think it should be consistent and be just restricted to the sidewalk. So even if it's a corner lot, it would go in the effective rear yard.
Right. That's why you have the definition of a corner lot.
Right.
I believe in the ordinance, doesn't it say a corner lot has 2 front yards and 2 side yards?
No, it's 2 front yards.
Yeah.
And then the more narrow front yard, the opposite of that is the rear yard. So you'll have 2 fronts, 1 side and 1 rear.
You only have one side.
You only have 1 side.
So we should just say the generators shall be permitted only in the rear yard.
Rather than
not the front.
restricting it,
Just
right?
only the rear.
Yeah.
All right, and what if we, okay,
Because we can send that back, the council can push that on the second reading
Yeah,
with revisions.
yeah, it's ministerial-ish.
Well, it's an ish, it's not, there's an ish involved about it.
It's ish.
okay.
Were there any other, great question. Jim's the can of worm opener tonight. Okay,
I'm on the generator committee.
how about 150, let me see that, 7.5, permanent and portable swimming pools?
Oh, hold on, we have to recommend this one before we move on to the next one.
Yeah. Okay.
I will move that we find this not inconsistent with the master plan and that we forward our recommendation on 150-7.13D to the Township Council for inclusion in the final ordinance.
Second. Can I get a,
Voices.
really?
Yeah.
Voice vote? All members that agree?
Aye.
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 Anybody disapprove? Any abstentions? Okay, unanimous. Okay, moving on, thank you, Mayor. Moving on to 150-7.5, permanent and portable swimming pools. This basically made us more consistent with the electrical subcode, right? Where mechanical equipment related to a pool only, that type of equipment has to be further away from the pool than we had in our zoning code. Okay. Any questions or comments on the updates to that section? If not, I'll make a motion to find the newly worded ordinance 150-7.5 A through F, not inconsistent with the master plan. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Day. All members that approve?
Aye.
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 Anyone disapprove? Any abstentions? Unanimous. Okay. Thank you.
Shout out to council for using the word opportunities.
I'm trying.
This is why he gets reappointed every year.
Right, he gets the big bucks. Next, we are going to turn the meeting over to Sam from H2M to discuss the redevelopment plan for 320 Bloomfield Avenue.
So, good evening, everyone. Just a reminder that we were supposed to discuss this in December 2024, and that didn't happen. But what I sent to you was the same copy. There are few, obviously, new board members, but this redevelopment plan is at the corner of Church Street and Bloomfield Avenue, which is Verona Aluminum, and that office building, which is the interior, it's got that interior design use, which is next to the public parking lot and close to the fire squad as well. So anyway, this is a mixed-use development which is basically addressing our affordable housing needs. And originally there was a developer who was interested, and long story short, this addresses our affordable housing needs. It's going to provide 2 units which were part of our affordable housing plan, and this review also, I've also introduced, not introduced, but provided a memo basically talking about how this particular plan forwards our master plan goals. It's consistent with the 2022 master plan, and most importantly, it will effectuate our housing element and fair share plan, which is mandated by the state. So that's it, and I'm ready to take questions, if any.
Anybody have any questions in particular?
Just a comment, Sam, thank you. This is good. I think it's everything that has been discussed over the years, so thank you for that.
Thank you.
Sam, just a couple of questions. It says that this may contain a shared kitchen except for a ghost kitchen or virtual kitchen, and I appreciate that you said that. But if you go down to prohibited uses in this redevelopment area, should you put ghost kitchen or virtual kitchen in that section?
What I had done is, because in the uses, we are saying except ghost or virtual, I'm not going to, 4.3, I'm just referring to that section of the ordinance. So in other words is, a shared kitchen is permitted, but you cannot have a ghost kitchen or virtual kitchen. So it's very clear. So instead of like then don't have this, that, and the other prohibited use, what I've done is referenced the actual section of the ordinance. So bottom line is there's no confusion. So if somebody wants a shared kitchen, don't have a virtual kitchen or a ghost kitchen, but the prohibited uses are. Yes.
Well, I mean, my point is that you're prohibited from having a ghost kitchen. And I'll just say, from what I understand, a shared kitchen is like a catering site where, you load all your delicious foods into a van and you bring them to somebody's home or to wherever the party is going to be. Whereas a ghost kitchen is more like a takeout restaurant.
That's correct.
Basically, like, somebody who decides to make every Tuesday it's taco night and Wednesday it's fried chicken night, and people are going to be coming to your site to just pick up to-go dinners. So that's not allowed, and I'm just wondering if it should just be listed in the prohibited uses.
So we'll have to, if that's your recommendation, we'll have to, send that to the governing body.
I'm sure that that's not what is planned there, but, it's just a question because
Right.
So that's one thing.
Yes.
I did have a question regarding the traffic pattern that would be coming into this. It would come through the one-way Church Street, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
There
would be no more driveway.
No.
Okay. And where does the building end? In the back of the lot, where there's only a 10-foot buffer. I want to know if the building goes past the existing buildings that are there into that back area.
It does not. So what I could do, and if that's your recommendation, I can include a concept plan basically showing the parking to the rear, building to the front, because I think you have a very valid point. It would just make more sense doing that. I could do a generic concept plan. I could
Yeah, or
include that.
even like maybe just like the, just box massing.
Yes.
With
Yes.
the maximum
Yes.
envelopes, that would be
Yeah.
helpful.
That would help. I would definitely do that.
And the only reason I bring this up is because if there was a building that was in that back area there, I would really want a 15-foot buffer.
Correct.
But if it's going to be cars parked,
Cars.
I can live with a reduced buffer
10
right
foot,
there.
yes.
But this backs into residential homes, single families, and I'm very particular about upholding as much buffering as possible. I understand that in this particular case, their parking has been reduced due to their location on Bloomfield Avenue. So, but anyway.
That can be done.
And the fence, I want either a solid wood or like a well-made fence. I don't want chain link.
Yeah.
That's just gross.
I believe, I don't recall, I believe we had done that, but I'll check, because I personally also don't like that, or a vinyl privacy fencing.
It should be a solid,
Wood fence or a vinyl.
I would prefer that, yes.
privacy.
High quality
Yeah.
vinyl.
Yes.
I'm sorry? I mean, I personally prefer vinyl because it's
Yeah.
easy to maintain. But if you want me to also put wood, I'll definitely put that.
I would
Stockade
honestly
fence.
put vinyl in over wood. The wood fences go to disrepair pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
Solid
just
vinyl,
write in
privacy.
vinyl.
Yep.
And the
6 foot high.
The only other thing is on page 34, where it talks about infrastructure. I don't know the condition of any of the pipes coming out of that site, hooking into the municipal systems, but I just sort of want to remind the council and mayor that maybe some scopes should be done on this particular property. It's been there a long time. And as you mentioned and showed us a couple of years ago, that it was in pretty severe disrepair at the time. So maybe we want to look at to make sure that their connections into our system aren't going to screw our system up. Scope some lines, that kind of thing.
Jack is chair of the scope committee, so.
I would say that a building of this size, replacing the building that was there, they're going to have to replace the sewer lines and water lines coming in on the site.
And they'll pay for everything that goes
Yes.
out to the street?
Yes.
Okay, good. That's all I had. Thank you so much.
I had a question, Stan, and
Sure.
I appreciate that in the bulk standards, you have both a minimum and a maximum front yard setback, to kind of maintain that downtown feel. I had a question, what's that measured from? Is that being measured from the curb
Property
line?
line.
The property line, which is so,
Yeah.
so it's going to be 8 to 10 feet behind the sidewalk? So there'll
Yes.
be additional
Yes.
buffering.
And the goal with that too is, back then when there was a potential developer, was basically, we always had this concern about stormwater management, to have like a green infrastructure and all that.
Right.
That is the idea. Unless, I mean, if you think it's not clear, I can add a sentence, to that effect.
Yeah.
I believe I had written about having landscaping.
Right.
There.
No. Just because in that section on that block, you have Henry's and then Stacy's, and then across Church Street, that building is right up on the curb line. So I don't know how the board feels if it
That
makes.
side, I'm sorry to interrupt, that side is where the parking lot is going to be. So the building is actually going to be between the public parking and Henry's.
Mhm.
So that's pretty much what the footprint is going to be.
Right,
So I think
right.
what would make sense now that I'm listening to your comments is including that concept.
Yeah.
Like, just a brief concept. They had provided us with the concept, and I don't think it's a problem including that without getting into details.
Right.
Sam, turn your mic off. Someone.
And again, I'd like the board's feedback on that, how they would want to see that massing, if they want it more consistent with the other buildings that are right up on the line, or if they want the building pushed back farther. And if we want the flexibility depending on what the design is. So maybe having that minimum be a little bit smaller while keeping the maximum at 10. So maybe having it 2 and 10. That way there's more flexibility depending on what the design is.
I think we do have the zero lot lines, but this is in ETC, I think. But if you, so you, do I do a minimum 0? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm looking at here at the table because it says minimum.
Yeah, you do it 8 to 10, right?
It's 8 to 10 right now, but maybe we go 0 or 1, 2 feet.
The reason I had 8 was because I wanted some landscaping.
You want the landscaping.
If you look at that site, it's so dead. So 8 feet is enough to put in like even planters, or like what I had asked at that time to the developer was try and put in some rainwater, like rain gardens. So that's why that was the idea for 8 to 10 feet.
You wanted to lessen?
I wanted to give the flexibility so that it would be a smaller setback if they wanted to line the buildings up with the existing buildings that are neighboring. So it's more of a traditional,
Okay.
Early 20s downtown rather than have it set back.
I understand.
So you have that gap, but
2020 or 1920?
1920, sorry.
Yeah,
So-
because Henry's actually did. the
Jason,
building.
I don't have a problem writing
Okay,
0.
yeah.
My thought process was this, to be able to
Right.
and live in that area.
Mhm.
Because you see, Henry's is right on the property line,
Right.
and most of those are 0 lot. But I think this is in the ETC zone, I
Yeah.
think.
It is ETC.
ETC.
Yes.
That was the other thought process too, that it's not like right in the
It's-
downtown.
right.
So,
My feeling on that would be that is a very, as you said, dead area over there. It's kind of unattractive in some ways. Having a little buffer for sure would be helpful. Because remember, this building is going to be 3 stories. So it's going to be right up in your face, whereas all the other buildings are max 2. So this will be a little more imposing than Henry's, and then the building to the west is a 1-story building as well that uses the bartending school. So that 3-story building is going to be a little bit more in your face. So I would say I lived next to here for 10 years, honestly on this property for 10 years. But I think that maybe 5 or 6 feet we could limit it back to.
5 to 10.
Yeah,
Then there's
something
that
along those-
flexibility, but we
yeah,
still have that buffer.
I agree. Yeah, give them flexibility, but.
so do 5.
Yeah,
And
5
then I
minimum,
would just,
10
and
max.
you know what, I'm thinking of adding, I thought I wrote that, but I probably didn't, is basically, put an asterisk, and in that just say, this area shall be landscaped,
Yep.
or at a minimum planters to and live in the area.
I want to make a couple of points in support of this. One is, and I'm thinking even what's across the street, plot by plot, we'll end up making Bloomfield Avenue a gully if we just have everything at 0 or very tight. And particularly coming down Bloomfield Avenue heading west, this is on the hill. And they're just knowing that that's 3 stories, that is at least what's planned. So if it's set back, there's actually, the way it is now, when you come down the hill, you actually could look across the valley and see the ridge, which is very pleasant for anyone driving through and us living in the town. So if that building is up front and up tall, it's going to cut into that view, and I would say that is at a detriment. So, as far back in the landscape, I think that adds some variation here and there, and so either where it is or
With due respect, I think the whole idea is basically A, and live in that area, right? B, because it is just all impervious surface to create more interest, like green space, so that
Yeah.
was 2. And 3, I want to give perspective that like when we looked at first floor with 2 floors above residential, we also compared with like how tall Henry's is, how
Yeah.
tall. So it seems imposing, but when in actuality residential buildings are at a lower height,
Good,
your
good.
clear height, it's like max 10 feet, it's usually 9 feet, so.
Sam, going back to the setbacks, whatever feet you decide and the board prefers, not up to me, I think if you could make it clear that it's from
The property.
from the pedestrian sidewalk back. So, well, no, that's, I'm afraid if it's from the curb,
It's not from the curb, it's from the property.
Property line.
Property
well,
line.
where's the property, where's the property line?
The property line.
Does it go to Bloomfield Avenue or does it go to the sidewalk? I
It
don't know if
goes
it's
to
a
the
right of
side,
way.
I think it goes to the sidewalk.
Well, we think.
I
So,
know, because I have the survey. I just
Okay.
wanted to take a look at it.
just to make sure,
Yeah.
because, to make sure it's not,
Okay,
if the property line goes to the street and the sidewalk is a right of way, then there's gonna be no buffer.
yeah, no, that's a good point.
I think I have the survey. I just, give me a second till I just pull it out. Deputy Mayor?
Yeah, while you're looking, I just want to add to Mr. Kamuti's comments. I do agree, because when we look next door, it's really, we're talking about the only 2 properties that are right on Bluefield Avenue as far as the buildings go, between Stacy's and Henry's. If we look at a broader sense of this, we have a paved parking lot next door, so any amount extra of greenery we can put in front of this building, I'll go the next block. You have the one building on the corner, but after that, you have the condo development, they have a large front yard, you have the liquor store, they have a nice sidewalk and green area in the front that they maintain very well. We have Proud Funeral Home right next door to that has a beautiful front yard. And I think it adds to the area when you're just walking and you see a little greenery. So I like the 8 to 10, and I remember that when I read through it. And I was very happy that you put something like that in. And especially as we talked, we have a 3-story building. It's going to overpower the sidewalk area in the street.
Yeah, that's fine, as long as there's a requirement of landscaping,
Yeah.
what I don't
Yeah.
see is.
A paved
setback
area,
and
yeah.
sidewalk,
Yeah,
things like
I
that.
totally agree, yeah.
Right.
I just looked at the survey. It's a good 10 feet from the sidewalk.
Good.
If you guys-
From the curb, you mean?
Yeah, it's not, the property line doesn't extend to the, I'm just gonna show it to you, right, since you asked me this question. This is the property line, this is the curb, so it's like a good 10 feet.
Okay, so it's it's within the property line?
Yeah.
Great.
So you have, oh, that's just the current. So I have a concept plan, I could use it, it's just that, everybody, this is the survey. And then this-
I'm good.
Can I see it? I trust you, Sam.
Okay.
Alright.
So the building set back a little bit already, but they have to plant or something.
Right.
So long as that extra space is required landscaping.
Yeah,
it
we'll want to
is.
put that in there.
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah,
somewhere there, but I'll cross-check.
Because I saw something about, 10-foot landscape buffer between residential.
No, that's.
Yeah, that's in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this
We want a
was the
streetscape
whole idea.
Yeah.
landscape buffer.
I think we'll check and see. So,
Bless you. Bless you.
Talking about the buffer requirement?
No, because there is a buffer requirement.
no, we're
That's
putting it along the front yard.
No, I understand. What you said you thought was in there, it's not. I was just curious what you're looking for.
I thought I'd put that it'll be landscape
I see.
buffer, but I don't, and I have to, check, I didn't look at it.
Yeah.
The landscape buffer you put in there was against residential.
Right.
Yeah, and there's landscaping.
Could you tell me, San, what in the back there where the parking lot is, what is that distance between the parking lot and, is it 10 foot between the
Yes.
parking lot and the residential? Because
Yes.
it's a little blurry in the plan that I actually
It
looked.
definitely is.
They have to have a 10-foot buffer
Correct.
on the east side of the property.
There is a 10-foot buffer to the east,
Mhm.
where the residential areas are, and then there's there's a 5-foot buffer near the church.
That's a semi-public use, yeah.
Yeah, but, let me see, yeah, it's 10 feet.
So getting back to the front, is it going to be 8, 5 to 10, or 8
No,
to 10?
we'll keep it 8 to 10.
Yeah.
8 to 10.
But we have to mandate that there be landscaping in that area.
Right. I totally agree, good call.
Actually, I lied. The concept that was submitted to us, it was 5 foot, but I put in 10 feet.
It
in the
was 5, I
plan.
thought so. It was a little blurry, though.
So let me ask you this, if there's a concept plan with the total number of parking spots that they need, are they going to be able to move them to the west
It's going to be-
slightly?
It's a tight site.
Well, I need a 10-foot buffer against those homes. I'm not going below that.
Right, so they'll have to, if a developer comes to you, they'll have to engineer it in such a way that there's 10 foot, and I pushed back for a 10 foot.
Yes, please.
No, I had, I just don't have that, so what I could do is, give you like a bubble diagram, like, I'll, put this on like a tracing paper on top of an aerial and just sketch it out.
Okay.
Because right now we don't have anybody with a survey or what have you.
Madam Chair,
Yeah.
the reason I brought that up is I thought in the plan that I had, that it looked like 5 foot. So the reason I brought that up was that I know somewhere, I don't know exactly where, but when I read it, you were talking about compact car spaces, which are smaller. They are, 2 foot shorter? So my suggestion, or my thought would be if they can put them along that side.
Correct.
Then we can maybe add 2 foot, so now we're at 7, and then maybe shift the whole parking lot forward.
There are different ways we could do it.
Okay.
One of the things is compact, which is 2 feet.
Yes.
The concept I have, it shows 22 feet. We could make a one-way, like less than 22. There are many ways.
Got it. Okay.
There's enough space there because we did that for Hillcrest. We gave them 10% compact for that same reason that you have multiple choices. And there are many people who have small cars, right? So, I'm sorry? Oh, sorry.
So, any questions?
That's all
You're
I had.
disappointing me, Tim.
Stan, we have the new board now, so the planning board roster on the first page has to get updated.
I'm sorry?
The planning board roster on the second page.
Yes,
the type
oh
of
no,
names that they get updated.
yes, that definitely will get,
And I guess I do suggest if you want to prohibit ghost kitchens or virtual kitchens, which are basically, like makeshift takeout joints, that it should be listed under the prohibited, just for clarity, just so that he knows. One other question. Are there 2 principal uses that would be allowed on the first level? More than one, should I say? Because,
Have that conversation, right.
well, I'm asking in this particular building because, what if he's able to split, put the, it could be like a center hall entry, and there could be a store or a retail or whatever service on either side of the center. There's plenty of room. So my question is there more than one principal use allowed on the first
Yes.
level?
Yes.
Does it specify that?
I wrote N, if you look on page 19N, any combination of the above listed uses. And I think you would like me to be more clear than that?
Page 19. Oh, okay. No, I guess if you're saying that they could have combined uses, then that's inclusive of more than one. Okay, thank you.
I just had a quick question, and pardon me being new to the board.
Who actually owns these properties? I was just curious. I was trying to find it actually in there.
He wants to know who owns this property.
It's an LLC.
It's an LLC?
It's an LLC.
It's owned by, it's public. I mean,
John McAvoy.
John McAvoy, and I believe there's a partner involved, but it's a public record.
Okay.
Yeah.
It might be Paglianacci.
They had come in, Jim, they had asked that this property be studied.
Okay.
To be an area, to be declared an area in need of redevelopment. They specifically requested that the board do that, and the board decided that it was an area in need of redevelopment. So that was probably 18 months ago or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Thank you.
Shannon, while I have the mic on, if we can go back where you said any combination of the above listed uses, just stylistic. I'm not sure, like you have all the permitted uses and then N is any combination. Just maybe move N as a separate sentence before number 2. Like the permitted uses shall be combined.
Okay.
I mean, that's just, you know,
And now,
minor editing since you're editing, that's all.
and Kathleen's going to freak out because she's going to say, so is it going to be like a restaurant, nail salon in one spot?
Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to look at
Same one.
CC
It's,
and what's the, what's the language that we approve,
It's this
right?
one.
And I'll put that in. I do not want you to get
The
confused.
420 is on the screen now, we're not looking at that.
Okay, here's what I'm going to write.
320.
Two or more principal uses may be permitted, that's it, instead of any combination. I'll just write, 2 or more principal uses may be permitted,
Okay,
okay?
it's better.
But that doesn't solve.
Right?
It doesn't solve-
I know.
So,
What does it not?
so is it 2 principal uses in one building that have their own separate entities? Or is it one business that you can combine any one of those
I'm
2
saying-
into and have your nails done while you're eating a hot dog?
Right.
You know,
I
or,
think
You have the bodega with the Jamaican.
I don't think that's a bad idea, actually.
And there's cards over here too.
Well, what I wrote, and what I had written in the draft of the TC zone, nothing contained herein shall prohibit 2 or more principal uses on a singular site in the TC zone.
That's perfect.
So it still doesn't solve your problem, but I think the board.
I think we
the
need
board is
to
saying
know
it's-
if there's a wall in
Well,
between.
I think what the board is saying is that they think that that's okay.
No, I don't
Nail
know.
salon selling hot dogs.
No, I don't think that's okay.
Here's what I'm going to,
I mean, that's okay.
here's what I'm going to suggest, is what we want is the downtown revitalized. If there's a bodega with the nail salon and there are people who are interested in that business, why stop that, right? If somebody wants to put in a massage parlor with a tattoo salon, that's a problem. But, something that would just activate our downtown, I think it's a great idea, right?
What?
No?
I mean, I'm polling the board. Do you think that the hot dog nail salon should move forward or, I mean, I'm being, obviously I'm kind of throwing 2 things
Well,
that don't
remember the
necessarily.
place on the avenue? It was a coffee bar and a clothing salon.
Yes.
Yeah, with the boutique with the coffee bar.
Right.
Yeah,
So.
up at the top, right across from you. really.
Trend.
Trends,
Right,
yeah.
trend. So that's
That's-
something I think that's, so you have to try to distinguish between,
I don't
hot
mind
dogs.
that at all.
I
I mean,
I think Kathleen's issue, is that something that just can be captured by Department of Health regulations rather than the zoning?
We are now licensing,
Yeah.
nail salons and massage parlors.
Yeah, then
I can imagine.
let's just keep it flexible.
Yeah.
do you want to leave it as is?
Let's just leave it.
All right, the board had,
I want to chime in and say, it's the structure that interests me, not
Yeah.
what goes on in it, like,
okay.
I mean, to some extent, like, does it reflect, does the physical structure reflect the town, not so much, it'll change from time to time, so.
Shall I, do you want me to talk about like having storefront, like to, storefront windows or something like to activate
very similar to what I wrote for Hillcrest, I could add that sentence.
What are you talking, show me.
You're saying about how the building will be, right? So all I'm asking is to answer what Tim mentioned was to talk about like having storefront to activate. That's
Well,
what you were talking about,
Yeah,
right?
and I think that's covered on, what is this, page 28?
Facades.
PDF, page 28, page 26 of the document, where we talk about the
Windows?
fenestration,
Okay.
storefront windows.
Yeah,
perfect.
the lighting.
So we're good.
So I think that.
Yeah, I think you did really well on that part, for sure. Like, that's totally done.
Okay, all right. I thought I didn't do it, so, all right. So then we're keeping N, instead of N, just do it as a separate sentence?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
With that, the language, the sentence.
The
Right,
language,
yeah.
okay. So any combination of the above listed uses may be permitted?
Nothing can.
Nothing shall.
Nothing
Okay.
contained herein shall prohibit two or more principal uses on a singular site.
Okay.
Principal use things, it's not two things at the same time, because principal is so.
Well, that's true, except we define principal uses. So principal is a,
Wait, you redefine principal use?
no, there's a principal use.
Mhm.
So what the mayor was suggesting is there can only be one principal use, but this language says nothing prevents,
Yeah.
so
But
principal.
like, it's murky inherent in a mixed-use building.
Right.
Because the principal use is a mixed use.
Right.
But I mean, I was talking on the retail side.
Yeah.
On the first
He
floor.
was being
Do you think that it should be added to the prohibition for ghost kitchen? Or-
Yes, no, I think that's a,
I'm sorry?
editorial.
Yeah, I mean, I'm making a recommendation to simply add an A and a B under the prohibitions. The A could be the ghost kitchen, the B could be the rest of the code that should be a prohibition, just so that that doesn't emerge.
You're talking about 4.3, right?
Yeah,
Okay. Got it?
just to make it perfectly clear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's page,
Page 20. A ghost kitchen.
yeah, 4.3, yes.
So we're allowed a shared kitchen?
Yeah, shared
Yeah.
kitchens like.
Okay, but in the
caterer.
definition of shared kitchen, the last line says such a space shall not be used as a ghost kitchen or virtual kitchen. So she has it in there.
Yeah, I do.
Yes, I know that.
Okay.
It's okay if we mention it a couple times.
It doesn't matter, it's really not a
Yep.
big deal. I'll just write ghost kitchen and the virtual kitchen. Okay, anything else?
I move that we send this back to the governing body with our recommendations and advise the governing body that with our recommendations, this redevelopment plan is not inconsistent with the master plan.
Second.
I'm sorry, Vice Chair Hyman seconds. Can we get a roll call vote, please?
So we need to have, I'm sorry.
We're taking a vote on this. Should we not do that?
I just wanted to say something before you take a vote.
Mhm.
I was going to suggest that typically we do a resolution. It's a redevelopment consistency. I can write a memo exactly, so I can send it to them and we can have it on the agenda. And then, is that?
Yeah.
Be my guest.
So.
No, I'm sorry.
Are you going to draft?
Yeah, so it could just be a basic resolution,
Yeah.
and then Exhibit A
Right.
can be Stan's memo.
Right.
So then you're
Yeah.
going to handle the basic.
Oh, we'll take Stan and I'll take care of it.
Okay, so at this point, the mayor's made a motion to adopt, ask the council to consider and adopt the recommendations and has not found this inconsistent with the master plan. Mr. Vice Chair Hyman seconds, and now roll call vote, please. I'll get used to it.
Mr. Day?
Yes.
Mr. Magarel?
Yes.
Mrs. Parker? Yes. Mr. Lilly?
Yes.
Mr. Hyman?
Yes.
Mr. Kamudi?
Yes.
Councilman McAvoy?
Yes.
Mayor Tamburo?
Yes.
Chair Pearson?
Yes. The motion passes. And at this time, we're going to move on to new business. If we got that subcommittee update. New business is, Sam is going to continue and discuss the study of the area need redevelopment investigation for 420 Bloomfield Avenue.
Thank you.
So everybody has a copy of the redevelopment investigation. What I'm going to do is just give a brief overview, especially for the new board members. So next slide, please. So what we're tasked to do, the board, is investigate whether the particular property, which is the Richfield Regency 420 Bloomfield, meets the criteria for an area in need of redevelopment. And this is governed by the New Jersey local redevelopment and housing law. And it's very specific in what the governing body is tasked to do and what the planning board is tasked to do. Next slide, please. So why do we do redevelopment? Redevelopment stimulates changes, economic development. It gives us an ability, better control over the property than conventional zoning, and it offers incentives, makes us negotiate development priorities, etc., etc. Next slide, please. So by resolution, since 2013, any kind of redevelopment action, the township has to specify whether it would be a condemnation redevelopment or a non-condemnation. Of course, Verona Township Council is very much in favor of non-condemnation. What that means is that it has to be voluntary with the property owner and developers, and no eminent domain. And if there's an interested developer, they would need to talk to the property owners. Next slide, please. So I'm going to explain the redevelopment process, okay? So by statutes, the first thing is the township council has to authorize the planning board by resolution to conduct an area in need of redevelopment for specific properties. The township passed a resolution, and I think I have the date wrong. It's 2024. I'm sorry. And then the planning board conducts the study to determine if the area meets the statutory criteria. So my report is that study, which is written exactly as per the redevelopment law. And we are at the current step, where meeting was noticed, and I'm required to present the findings to you. And then you make a recommendation to the governing body or the council to either designate or not designate. What happened? It won't? Designate or not designate the area, the redevelopment area. This is technology, right? Sorry. I apologize. It's okay, I'll do it. Okay, great. So let me just quickly, so we're here, right? So after tonight, the township council would either accept your recommendation or reject it. And if the council, should you decide that this does satisfy the criteria, and if the council accepts it, then it designates the area, redevelopment area. The redevelopment is a 3-step process. We are in phase 1, which is conducting the study. The phase 2 is once the governing body designates it, we can prepare a redevelopment plan, and then the third phase is work with the developer or property owners. And this is all mandated by the state statutes. So we are in phase one, as I mentioned. Where's the study area? Everybody knows, I'll go through this slide quickly. It is along Bloomfield Avenue. It's the Richfield Regency, and it has frontage along Bloomfield and Claremont. So that's, then it's, if you look at the land uses, that's a commercial property. It's the banquet hall, but it's surrounded by all, whatever is in red is non-residential commercial uses. And it has multifamily, single family. So the oranges are multifamily, the yellows are single family residences. Now, those redevelopment statutes basically specify what the criteria is. Number one is substandard buildings. If they're buildings that are boarded up or deteriorating, like houses boarded up, or that's criterion A. It's buildings that cannot be inhabited by people. Criterion B is basically commercial industrial buildings that are completely abandoned, they're vacant, they've fallen into disrepair. Criterion C is public or vacant unimproved land. Criterion D is areas that have buildings as well as parking lots that are dilapidated, they are not as per current engineering standards, overcrowded, faulty arrangement, etc., etc. Criterion E is areas that have conditions of title, ownership, criterion F is areas that have been destroyed by fire or any kind of natural hazard, and it's like 5 acres or more land. Criterion G is areas that are designated as a New Jersey urban enterprise zone, which obviously this is not. And H is a criteria which basically is smart, any area that satisfies smart growth planning, which this particular area does, but it is, this criteria has to always be used in tandem with an A to G, any of those criteria. We also have to look at whether it's consistent with the master plan, which this is. We identified the Bloomfield Avenue corridor as an area that needed revitalization, and this particular site is part of that. We also look at whether it's consistent with how the state envisions our area to be. And as I mentioned, smart growth area, this is part of PA1. It's a metropolitan planning area. The emphasis of the state is preserve your open space, but any area that is in part of the metropolitan area is ripe for redevelopment. So what we did was, we analyzed the study area. So the new board members, the old board members are well aware. Almost 2 years ago, what the governing body had done is all the properties along the entirety of Bloomfield Avenue, they had designated that as an area of rehabilitation. Rehabilitation is something simpler than redevelopment, but that's as per the redevelopment statutes. And so it's part of the rehabilitation area that was identified by the governing body. That's number one. Number two, it's located on a main corridor, and it's within our town center zone. So this basically also, this redevelopment designation and any kind of redevelopment plan will forward the township's goal for our planning goals as well as satisfy our affordable housing requirement. So, so this is a part of that. It's also interesting because this redevelopment also wants to ensure that there's adequate public transit. And this is along the Route 29 bus line that goes to New York's Port Authority, as well as 105, which is at the corner of Lakeside, which is walking distance really. So, it's well connected, if you will. Now, the statutes are very clear on what one must do to do a read weapon investigation. So we follow that to the T. So we looked at our tax assessor records, accident reports, if any, code violations. We look at master plan documents, which I just described. And we also are required to do a field visit. And we did that during the holiday season, Christmas Eve, and a few days prior to that. And this is Richfield Regency, as everybody knows. And if you look at it from the street, you would say, well, it doesn't look bad, but it actually does meet criterion D, and here's why. Criterion D, as I mentioned earlier, you look at, it focuses on the building and the site improvements, and it just addresses how the site functions in terms of the layout, and properties that meet this criterion are being used in a manner which is inconsistent with modern land use, engineering standards, et cetera, et cetera. And I actually included a few pictures. A lot of them are, included in the actual study. I've at least 10 to 20 pages dedicated to it, which goes into great detail. And I'm just going to summarize all of these, just hit the main high points. So, if you look at this building from Bloomfield, it's not attractive because of the blank facade, but it doesn't look like it needs repairs. But as you go into the building and into the site is where you start seeing things, because there's a canopy, there's a brick aisle. It looks attractive, but we discovered as we were into the site a lot of, I would say, conditions of deterioration with lack of adequate parking, and the parking lot wasn't maintained at all. So I have included pictures of all of that, potholes, and what we noticed is there were, to the rear of the building along Claremont, there are sheds that are attached to the building which had actually high voltage and high voltage equipment, so it's not a very safe condition. And we also noticed, if you look at this particular picture, it's like the building juts out, so it's like an L-shaped building, and it just divides it into two parking areas, and there's a narrow driveway and just multiple points of access which are not very conducive to very safe driving conditions. Most importantly, there is not adequate off-street parking, and currently they use the empty parking lot on the other side of Claremont. So that, and then these are just close-ups of like a trash compactor which is out in the open. This is like a dilapidated fence which is covering a lot of the storage space. And if you look at the actual building, the rear side and the, I would say, southwest, there's a lean-to roof which is covering the storage area. This is all the top two pictures, and it just is, in a state of disrepair. It's falling apart. We saw just storage just stacked up to the ceiling. If you look at all the pictures to the right, there is no proper areas for loading, and in a no parking sign we saw van park, which is obviously, there's inadequate area for parking and loading, etc., etc. And then as we went into the building, and everything is in this report, but if you look at the basement, it just is, it's again, like, there's this, I don't know, there's a doorway connecting this area, and there's a skate wheel conveyor resting on it, so it takes the items like on buckets. It's resting on buckets, and it's used to take items indoors from a stairway that leads to the outside of the building. The bottom right and middle are just freezers that are from the 1960s that's not really working. The walls, the owner had met with H2M, and they were talking about having a lot of issues with like flooding, especially because a good portion is below grade. So these are the storage areas. And just overall deterioration in that area. If we go and look at the walls, you can see it's just falling apart. If we go up to there, because of, it's a one-story building, but because of the way the site slopes, the first floor to the rear becomes like a second floor. And, you can clearly see water damage in these pictures. There's more information, obviously, in the report, but I just tried to summarize it in here. So, based on the condition of the parking, based on the lack of adequate parking, circulation issues, based on just the overall lack of maintenance and the building deteriorating, we feel that it successfully satisfies criterion D because it represents an obsolete layout, deleterious land uses, there's lack of stormwater management. So that's why it satisfies criterion D, and because it's located within a metropolitan planning PA1 area, it also satisfies criterion H because this is designated by the state as a preferred area for redevelopment to accommodate growth and development. And then it's my professional opinion that this definitely meets the criteria, and I would recommend the planning board to designate this as a non-condemnation area in need of redevelopment. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Any questions?
I had a couple of questions.
Sure.
Again, fantastic report, very comprehensive, documenting the condition and some of the issues that pose public safety and health risks. And there was a lot of documentation about what looked to me like long-standing water damage. But there's no mention in the report about the potential for mold, and I know you're not allowed to do invasive testing or investigation, but is that type of water damage indicative of a risk of mold infestation?
It could potentially be, but it's beyond the scope of...
Yeah, you can't really get up into water.
And I'm not going into criterion. If I were doing criterion A, I definitely would have gone into details, done a structural analysis, because when we went on site and said, oh, it easily meets, because as you know, and you do plenty of this season, you have to meet at least one.
Yeah.
So when you see what's evident visually, the building is falling apart to the rear. To the front, it looks fine. But there was more pictures which I didn't include in this because, but more pictures which actually show signs of water damage. If you look on page 39 and 40, the actual banquet hall spaces, and Liza actually went on site and took pictures, and she said, it's hard to put that because the space was dark, but it was so clear, like uneven tiles and things like that. So,
Yeah, and again, going back to, some of the storage conditions and floor tiles missing, I mean, was there any safety concern for the workers in there?
I don't believe
Is that anything
so.
that
Would
would
you like
not
to
meet
answer
code?
it?
From my understanding, like, most of the issues are from like the lack of organization and the fact that the building hasn't been maintained. There's a lot of like, the loading area that you saw with like the conveyor belt was really like makeshift. It was literally resting on top of buckets. So I would say there's a bit of concern from the fact that it is very unorthodox, the way they're maintaining property. Another concern is the way they stored materials, particularly right outside of the service entrance to the rear. I don't know if you guys saw those metal canisters, but they are like CO2 canisters for the soda guns.
Yeah, was that being stored or was that?
Those were active
Active
lines,
Yeah.
right by
Right
the
here.
service entrance.
It's right
So-
near the, yes,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, yeah.
And I think it's mentioned in the
report.
in the report as well that they have received a citation for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did see a lot of
Yeah.
documented citations.
Just to, yeah, it's not going to happen. Just to hop on what you're discussing right now, I would actually say that it meets A. Because if you look at the end of your report in the addendum, it's all the violations, and it makes for a very unsafe workplace. I think it meets A and D, and obviously H. Just my unprofessional
No,
opinion.
I know, it's a point well taken. When I write these reports, right, there are times where I've actually said it satisfies criterion A. At that time, I have with me somebody who's done an structural analysis. It has to be comprehensive. Sometimes when you try to put in too many criteria, it loses the impact the way the D criteria, the way it's been described, it perfectly meets everything in the statute. With the A, I wasn't comfortable writing a report, yes, you're right. It looks like it does, but it doesn't meet all the different standards that I have to provide in an evidence.
You would need additional consultants.
Right. I do.
To kind of back that
Yeah.
up. Okay.
I gotcha. Yeah, thank you.
And then you mentioned the parking lot across the street from Claremont. That's utilized for their valet activities, so it's the same ownership. But I saw in the identification of the site that parcel was not included.
No, it's not. We're just doing for this particular parcel.
Okay. But since it is, one use, one ownership, do you think that's something that should be included as part of, under criterion 3? Not criterion, but under section 3, it's part of the same property, it should be included in the designation?
I don't think we need that for effective redevelopment. Section 3, you're talking about section 3, right? I don't believe we do. I think this site by itself is, I think, adequate. Like sometimes we do have, like if there are properties in that area that we think, okay, this would be part of section 3. Excuse me, I don't believe that's the case. It's just this particular lot that we were assigned to do, and I think it meets its purpose.
So if we're, if this were to be designated as an area need and a redevelopment plan was crafted, it would be limited just to the Richfield site itself.
That is correct.
So any sort of density calculation or any type of off-site or off-street parking requirements, it would just be limited to that Richfield
correct.
site.
Yeah.
And it would not include the parking lot.
I mean, it wouldn't, and the township, right now, I think the township is in the process of discussing, with the developer, at this point, what our task is this particular site.
Mhm.
That was my first question, is do they own that? Because obviously they can park over there. I've seen when there's events, well-dressed people are walking across. But it brings to mind, like, if that is at least not included in the area of redevelopment, I don't know, there could be another 3-story building goes up there where they sell that separately.
I don't believe so. I don't believe so.
Or something
they can't just go and, like, it's in a single-family zone. If they
Yeah.
ever have to do something to meet with meet, they could put a house there if they
They
wanted
could put a
to,
house
but
there, right.
all I'm saying at this point is that the goal is that whatever redevelopment happens should be able to be contained within this site, including the parking.
Right. But
That's,
it does in the park, because all right, let's take this further. That parking, let's say we're building something and, we want I don't know, a footprint that's right, but there's not enough parking, then that could be included in, as a way of, say, mitigating some of the parking issues in that area.
well, at this point, we're just talking about, those are very good questions, Mr. Kamuti, but those are the ones we would discuss, when there's the redevelopment plan and we do a review like I did for 320. That's where all those questions are. At this point, I think the only thing I can talk about is whether it meets the criteria, and it's,
You haven't been tasked with studying.
Yeah, okay. But that's interesting. So because it's a thorough plan, and I think because it aligns with our master plan, and because I think there's so much, I think, beneficial at stake, that makes me very skeptical here. And I'm like, so I want to like make this ironclad, just,
it will, no, we are all, it's just a study.
Plan.
It's
no,
not
I
a
know it's
plan.
not the plan. I'm saying to meet criteria D.
Right.
I want to like, just put it through its deepest paces here, if you don't mind, because again, when I feel like, oh, I really want to just push this and not talk about it much, I'm like, no, I want to talk about it. Like, if this owner didn't want to sell and they cleaned up all these things, do you feel these are superficial or are they structural, the issues you found?
No, the issues are pretty deep. They're not superficial. If they
No.
were superficial, I would never write this report. And very frankly, we are assigned, the board and myself as a board planner was assigned to look whether it meets the statutory criteria. So going back to Ms. Pearson's point, that she felt it would meet A2. And I'm saying that because I'm assigned to do it as per, a New Jersey professional planner, the strongest case I have is for the D criteria for all the points I just mentioned.
And let's just say it was in, not the shape, it's in better shape inside. I still, because when I look at this, I agree with D. And, I want to say I agree with this, but it's the obsolete layout or this combination. Are those, like, do you agree? I think it's page 39. Like, this can only be one thing, a banquet hall, right? Like, it can only be, like, it has very limited use. To me, it's meeting D because obsolete is tough, but I think it's more where is it? A faulty arrangement is what I see as the big problem here.
It's both. It's the obsolescence of the use and the building and the way this is, and it's a faulty arrangement because I did show you about the driveway, which is, I measured it, it's barely 12 feet, which is one way. So.
Yep. I don't want to be convenient on the vote, so I was just putting it through its paces. Thank you so much.
Of course, appreciate it.
Any other questions or comments for Sam? Okay, then, that being the case, I'll make a motion to find this, do we?
Members of public.
Yes, this is,
Oh,
yes.
okay, before I do that, thank you. Do any members of the public have any questions or comments on this before we take a vote? Seeing none, I'm going to close public session. And now I will make a motion to find this study for 420 Bloomfield Avenue, that we find that this is, we recommend to the council that this be determined as an area in need of redevelopment. Can I get a second, please?
Second.
Second, Mr. Lilly seconds,
Based on what criteria?
based on criteria D and H. Yeah, that has to go in there.
It helps.
Yeah. And a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Day?
Yes.
Mr. Magarel?
Yes.
Mrs. Parker? Yes. Mr. Lilly?
Yes.
Mr. Kamudi?
Yes.
Councilman McAvoy?
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Tamburo?
Yes.
Vice Chair Heineman?
Yes.
And Chair Pearson?
Yes. The motion passes as a unanimous vote.
Motion to adjourn.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, okay, fine.
Second.
Is there any, if there's no new business
Just
or?
a second.
All right, we're closed. The store is closed.
Not discussing the town center zoning, just give a brief.
I have a lifesaver as well.